Welcome to the Mufasa book reading. My name is Julia, and we are reading from Dr. Tineka Walfer's book, Authentic Leadership Effectiveness. Enjoy. Chapter 5, Criteria for Leadership Authenticity Programs. Being able to lead self and others with awareness and authenticity often requires a journey of transformation, where we need to explore the internal identity that drives us, and where we need to integrate all of life's experiences into a meaningful context. The development of such awareness requires that we explore what is happening below the emotional soil line. And it is often a very challenging journey, near impossible to undertake on our own. It requires the skills of someone who will listen in a way that we feel heard and ask those questions that ignite our minds in order to uncover important aspects of ourselves that we have overlooked. Someone who will challenge us to move outside our comfort zone while supporting us when we do so. New self-awareness does not automatically lead to change. It needs to be supported by self-regulation by means of aligning to an internal compass that enables us to remain true north, as Bill George describes it. Our existing ways are often habitual, requiring a partnership with an external experienced person to facilitate the journey towards change from limiting to empowering habits. A leadership coach, for instance, could play this role, as discussions with such a coach can help leaders to increase their self-awareness about what is important and identify the gaps they need to attend to in order to achieve their desired outcomes. The metric of time for development of authentic leadership is typically very long, and it usually takes time for characteristics of authentic leadership to emerge. Therefore, whilst perception of authenticity that occur may be instantaneous self-awareness, the development and execution of actual authentic leadership behaviors may take longer, that is, self-regulation. This therefore means that, as conventional leadership intervention might be often short and training-based, they would be insufficient for the transformative nature of developing authentic leadership. I often found that organizations hope for silver bullet programs when considering the development of effective leadership. However, for the aforementioned reasons, this becomes an unrealistic expectation, as those who truly wish to invest in the development of more effective and sustainable positive leadership need to consider the appropriate investment required for such leadership development. Authentic leadership development involves complex processes that cannot be achieved through normal training programs. Until recently, the opinion was that authentic leadership compared to the development of other transformational leadership forms could be achieved in a program format unless that program could be broadly labeled as life's program. The program that life offered us, consisting of learning through leadership episodes and life events, could be supplemented with some training. However, there has been a proliferation of a new leadership development methods. And since then, a growing recognition of the importance of leaders' emotional resonance with others, moving the focus of leadership development towards coaching and mentoring whilst focusing on both individual and teams. Whilst developing this authentic leadership program over a number of years, the authentic leadership guidelines offered by Cooper et al. And Chen resonated with me, and I ensured that my authentic leadership program adhered to those guidelines, which was proven to be very effective. I outline these enriched with my own thoughts and elaborate further in chapters 6 and 7 on how this authentic leadership program aligns to these. Important program considerations. To date, the guidelines offered by both Cooper and Chan on the requirements of leadership authenticity interventions are still very relevant. Cooper suggested 4 major issues that need to be addressed by any authentic leadership development intervention. The first one is ensuring program itself is authentic. A. Authentic leadership development needs to be underpinned by a valid theoretical and conceptual model. And the key processes need to align adequately and truthfully with the underlying theoretical and conceptual model. B, for the program itself to be authentic, it needs to be mindful of systemic and contextual concerns and specifics that affect individuals. There is no one fit for all in authentic leadership development. And for that reason, conventional training programs are unsuitable. In my experience, whilst authentic leaders might have aspects in common, these programs also need to recognize the uniqueness of individual and team authentic leadership by their interactions and responses to their environment and systemic context. Not only do their environments and the elements therein affect them, they also influence their environments. A suitable program needs to be cognizant of such dynamics. Furthermore, there is uniqueness of human beings that they usually form part of more than one system. For example, not only are they part of their system at work, they also form part of family and social systems outside work. And what happens in one system can cross-influence their responses to others. Finally, their physical bodies are systems within their own rights and are therefore affected too. A program needs to consider systemic feedback from all of these. C, such programs cannot be one-time training events. Unique designs might be required to evoke responses required to develop authentic leaders. Such interventions might involve training, one-on-one coaching, and the need to be mindful of trigger events, such as leadership episodes and life events that can test and further develop authentic leadership. Number 2, determining how trigger events can be replicated during training. A, often certain work episodes or life events have an impact on the worldview or the leadership style of any leader. These might be smaller events which accumulate until they trigger a response from leaders who allow these to test or further develop authentic leadership in their behavior. Highlighting and using those events and their responses allows leaders to reinforce new behaviors, either through training, reinforcing the simpler behavioral processes that collectively comprise a more complex pattern, or shaping, rewarding successfully closer approximations of desired behaviors. 3, deciding whether ethic-based decision-making can be taught. In the wake of the ethical organizational challenges highlighted in the media, the ethical and moral component has become a central component of leadership authenticity. Can ethic-based decision-making be taught? In my own experience, my leader clients are continuously faced with ethical dilemmas, and it is by assisting them in finding their true north, internal authentic leadership compass, that they learn how this can guide them in making ethically based decisions. Usually, when individuals aspire to be positive leaders, it goes hand in hand with desiring a well-developed moral compass. Number 4, determining who should participate in authentic leadership training. A, the question asked is whether all have the innate ability to become authentic leaders. Although I believe that most people have the innate ability to become moral, authentic leaders, it is important that there be a certain of leader development readiness, and this can be tested upfront. In my own practice, I test for the leader development readiness and willingness to be appropriately vulnerable that allows the relational transparency. This needs to be accompanied by a commitment to take ownership of the authentic leadership development journey. That is where today's reading will end. Thank you. Thank you so much for joining us in today's book reading. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and share to your family and friends. Bye.